Luke, or?
So, dear aspirants, this particular webinar we are organizing in collaboration with University at Buffalo, and in fact we have here Professor S.K. Barai, Director, BITS Pilani Campus. Then we have Dr. Jan, Director, International Programs at University at Buffalo, Professor Luke, who is also Senior Associate Dean at University at Buffalo, Dr. Amanda Barber, and Miss Jena. So, and from Pilani side, we have Miss Kanak. So, thank you very much for attending this particular webinar, which is an exciting opportunity for all students to get exposure of both the universities, that is BITS Pilani, which is an institution of eminence, and of course University at Buffalo, which is State University of New York and very well known university. So we will be giving some insights about the application, but before how you are going to apply application, what is the criteria for admission in this particular thing, and all those detail we are going to discuss. But before that, I just invite Professor Barai to just address you people, and then maybe.
Yeah, so good evening to all of you. I think thank you so much for joining for this session. I'll just keep it very brief. I think you are looking forward to hear more about the 2+2 program, and that is where I think this one. So wishing you all the best, and I just request all the participants just leave the question into the chat box, and we'll try to address them, and maybe in the different form at the later part. But at least at this point of time, please listen what I think the important information which will be shared with you through this webinar. And we are taking a notes of all your questions as well, and we'll do all the needful things. So wishing you all the best, and thank you so much for joining for this interaction. Yeah.
Okay. So I mentioned that this is an exciting opportunity for all of you to pursue a collaborative dual degree programs at both BITS Pilani and University at Buffalo. So this particular program is we are calling 2+2 international collaborative program. That is 2 years you are going to study at BITS Pilani, one of the campuses, and 2 years at SUNY Buffalo, that is University at Buffalo. And first 2 years, essentially the basic fundamental courses and basic core courses and the requirements of BITS Pilani, many of the courses like humanities electives, open electives, and discipline elective kind of courses you are going to finish in first 2 years. And the advanced core courses you are going to complete at University at Buffalo. So the curriculum is designed in such a way so that you are going to fulfill the requirement of both BITS Pilani as well as the University at Buffalo. And at the completion of all the coursework, be it the core courses, discipline core, capstone projects, all those things, both universities are going to award you a separate degree. The coursework which you are going to complete at BITS Pilani, many of those courses are going to be credited by University at Buffalo, and whatever coursework you are going to complete at University at Buffalo, those are going to be credited at BITS Pilani. So that is how this whole structure is there. All the details of the coursework, it is already given on the website. If you go to BITS admission website, you will see all the details about the admission brochure, then curriculum, what are the different programs which are being offered, and what are the in fact different questions which you are asking, that is also we have kept, so you can see those things. In fact, you are going to get a diverse learning environment, because as I said that both universities is very well known universities in both worlds. So I think that exposure is definitely going to be very exciting for all of you. And I have already described that first 2 years you are going to study at Pilani, Goa or Hyderabad campuses, depending upon which program you are going to get based on your merit. And then Of course, a summer term is also expected from you to be there at BITS Pilani, one of the campuses, to complete your coursework. And third year and fourth year, you are going to complete your technical and discipline specific electives and capstone projects at University at Buffalo. So these are the 5 programs which we are offering: BE Computer Science by BITS Pilani campus, and BS Computer Engineering by University at Buffalo, and then BE Computer Science by BITS Pilani campus, and BS Computer Science by University at Buffalo. So essentially, the first one, computer engineering, is offered by Computer Engineering Department of University at Buffalo, and the second one is offered by Computer Science Department. More details Professor Luke and Dr. Jan will tell you. BE Electrical and Electronics by BITS Pilani, and BS Electrical Engineering by University at Buffalo, and BE Electronics and Communication by BITS Pilani KK Birla Goa campus, and BS Electrical Engineering by University at Buffalo, and BE Mechanical by BITS Pilani, and BS at Hyderabad campus, and BS Mechanical Engineering by University at Buffalo. So these are the 5 programs which we are offering. And as I said, that first 2 years you are going to work at BITS and then at University at Buffalo. Program curriculum is very well designed. Both sides, the experts of both universities have set together academic people, and then they have designed this particular program. And in fact, a number of courses, if you see, it deals about communication, thematic or global pathway courses, basic core courses, and capstone projects. So those are the things. So in this case, actually, we don't have practice school, but in place of practice school, we have capstone projects. And another very important thing, if you see in this particular collaboration specifically, so we have top 25% students scholarship of USD 15,000 in third year and fourth year, and remaining all students are going to get US dollar 12,000 per year when you are going to be in US, that is third year and fourth year. As far as BITS Pilani scholarship is concerned, you first 2 years, BITS Pilani offers a number of scholarships, even tuition blind scholarship, or even top merit cum need merit scholarship. But you have to compete together with all students, and depending upon your merit, you can get the scholarships. And as far as first 2 years at BITS is concerned, and third year and fourth year, the scholarship amount it is mentioned for all those who are going to get admission in BITS UB. So in this particular cohort, if you see, if you compare with other partnership programs, I think every students are going to get the scholarship. So that is in third year and fourth year. So this is one of the thing. As far as application is concerned, so first degree application portal is on. Tomorrow is the deadline for that. You can simply go to our BITS admission website, apply. There will be regular program application form, and in the same form, it will be asking that whether you are interested also to apply to BITS University at Buffalo program. If you will say yes, then these 5 programs will you will be able to see, and then you can give the preferences of these program in the order of your preferences. And based on that, then a merit list is going to be prepared. Already how merit list is going to be prepared, that is again it is defined in the brochure. And apart from that, because it is an international program, so you have to also fulfill the English language requirement. More details, of course, it is again available, but if you have any doubts, our team is here from University at Buffalo side. They will able to answer. And one more, when you are going to transition, the academic requirement is going to be fulfilled. The academic, whatever academic requirement of BITS Pilani is there, that you have to fulfill. In the same way, whatever academic requirement of University of Buffalo is there, that is also to be fulfilled, because both universities are going to award you degree. So one of the very important requirement is also when you are going to transition, then your CGPA of BITS Pilani, it should be at least 5 out of 10, and no BITS course fulfilling a UB degree requirement having BITS grade below D in those courses should be there. So it means that it, of course, students used to make A minus kind of grade, but it is the minimum grade requirement which has to be fulfilled by you when you are transitioning. If that is not going to be fulfilled, it means first you have to earn that particular grade, and then you can move to the thing. So this is the fee structure. First 2 years fee structure. If you see, first semester fees, it is 446,000 roughly first semester. For second semester, and summer term fee at BITS Pilani is also there, but both summer term, that is summer term between first year and second year and third year, it is not that both the summer terms you are going to use here. It depends upon the offering of your program, and based on that you may need to pay the summer term fees, otherwise it is optional. The tuition fee of year 3 and year 4, it is again mentioned here, but it is the rate of 25-26 rate, and 26-27 will be announced. It may be typically increase with a 2 to 4% increase or so. Now, this particular application process and other things, you need not to worry. So I think once you complete your first year, then team is there to guide you properly, and how to get I-20 and visa, etc. That will be explained. Sometimes a question comes that what happens if I can't transfer to university at Buffalo. This is also we have included in our FAQ. So just here I would like to highlight that because it depends upon your BITSAT score and your merit. So depending upon that, if suppose your BITSAT score is falling in the same branch, which actually in regular program of BITS Pilani of 4 years or 5 years program, then you may be given the same program. If your BITSAT score doesn't fall in that, so we will see that what is your where you are falling, and depend accordingly the program is going to reassign to you. So that might be possibility, or sometimes a provision even in UGC and NEP 2020 also now it is there that students can take credit from BITS Pilani and take admission in some other university. And of course, Dubai campus also you can take your route pathway, and the same program you can continue in BITS Pilani Dubai campus. So that is how this whole process is there. So thank you so much for this. Now I invite Dr. John to elaborate about University at Buffalo, some of the features, and then we will take questions.
Thank you.
You can close. Yeah.
Thank you, Dean Singh. I'm happy to share warm greetings from Buffalo and all my colleagues at the University of Buffalo. My name is John Wood, and I serve as Senior Associate Vice Provost for International Education at UB. This is the office responsible for centrally administered international programs and services. I want to take a moment and invite my UB colleagues to introduce themselves, beginning with Professor Jarek. Luke, do you want to say a word about yourself?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. I'm Luke Jarek. I'm a professor in the Computer Science and Engineering program, or department rather, in the School of Engineering and Applied Sciences. And I'm also currently serving as the Associate Dean of Academic Affairs for the School of Engineering and Applied Sciences.
And maybe next, Amanda.
Hello, everyone. I'm Amanda. I am one of the assistant directors for advising in the School of Engineering and Applied Sciences. My team that I supervise oversees our international student experience. So we would be the ones that would assist you with advising when you arrive.
And is Kaylee here? I'd take a moment for her to introduce herself.
I think she's maybe not designated as a panelist, so she's in the crowd somewhere.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
That's
then maybe
okay.
I'll turn to Jenna.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jenna Perrone. I am the Assistant Director in International Admissions, and I oversee our team who do all of the admissions review and then the team that would issue you your first UBI 20 on your way to UB. It's nice to meet everybody.
Thank you. And lastly, to Eric.
Hello, everyone. My name is Eric City. I work in the International Student Services Office here at UB. I am one of the advisors, and I focus on some special populations, which is this BITS UB population. And I'll talk more about what my office does in a little bit.
Thanks so much, everyone. It's my pleasure to welcome all of you who are attending this webinar. We're delighted at the good turnout. I see it's over 160. To learn more about the 5 collaborative 2+2 undergraduate programs that BITS Pilani and the University of Buffalo are administering together. We call these programs the UBITS 2+2 programs, and we're very happy to be partnering with BITS on this enterprise. My colleagues and I will be sharing information about these new programs to help prospective students and their families determine if one of our programs is right for them. After our presentation, we'll be happy to address some of your questions as time allows. We believe we have a great offering to share, and we're proud to be partnering with BITS to deliver these programs. The University of Buffalo was established in 1846, and we are pleased to be marking our 180th anniversary this year. Originally a private university, the University of Buffalo joined the State University of New York in 1962, becoming SUNY's largest and most comprehensive campus with more than 31,000 students and more than 2,800 faculty. UB has been designated as one of the flagship institutions of SUNY, the largest system of public higher education in the United States. We have 64 campuses, ranging from community colleges to research universities like UB. One more important date to note is 1989, when UB was elected to the Association of American Universities, the prestigious association of the 71 best research universities in the United States and Canada, a group that includes Harvard, Stanford, Princeton, and many familiar institutions that you've heard of. But UB is a public university, which means that our costs are lower than some of our high-priced private peers. This is one factor in UB's success in attracting large numbers of excellent international students from all over the world. Currently, more than 5,000 are enrolled here, with a large number from India. And we're very proud of our international students and grateful for all their contributions to UB. A comprehensive university, UB has 12 schools and virtually all the disciplines one can think of. But UB is especially well known for the excellence of our engineering and STEM programs. As my colleague, Professor Jarek, can better explain, the UB School of Engineering and Applied Sciences has seen tremendous growth and vitality in recent years, both in terms of research impact and its educational scale. So Luke and Amanda will say more about the exciting opportunities that are available at our School of Engineering. I'll turn it over to Luke at this time. Thank you.
I think I'll begin if that's okay.
Oh, yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Right on the next slide, I just want to speak very briefly about the process we have for welcoming students to campus. Obviously, it's a very exciting opportunity to come study in person in the United States, but I recognize that that also comes with certain anxiety and nerves. So we wanted to speak a little bit about the supports that we have in place to make sure that the transition is one that is successful for you all. So first and foremost, as I mentioned in my introduction, we have a robust team of advisors in the School of Engineering and Applied Sciences, and we have specialized advisors that work with our international students and specifically with our 2+2 population. So in addition to myself, my colleague Kaylee, who's answering some questions in the chat, we are the two that would most likely be warmly welcoming you to campus when you arrive. We're well versed in the curriculum, the way that courses articulate from your home institutions to fulfill requirements here and possibly vice versa. And you would work with us from the point of acceptance until you graduate and confer your degree. So we're excited to start building, professional relationships with all of you, walk you through the curriculum, help you find success while you're a student here with us at UB. And then also, Dr. Jark will speak to this in a moment, make sure that you are getting what you want out of your experience at UB, which could include some options and opportunities for individualizing your degree through minors, experiential learning like internships. Again, Kaylee and I would be able to assist with questions related to those sorts of opportunities. In addition to your academic advisor, you will also be working closely with a faculty mentor in your assigned department. So we want you to develop a close relationship with faculty who have connections to industry. And so you will have a faculty advisor that will help you tailor your program, choose electives if we have space for those, and then also pursue experiential learning opportunities that would set you up for whatever next professional step is coming your way once you complete your degree. So that's how advisement works. Again, it's an academic component merged with some faculty support through your department. And then in addition, just to speak briefly about this EAS 198, in your first semester, when you join us in person, all of our students will be enrolled in a 1-credit seminar, just once a week for an hour. And the goal of that seminar is to help you transition, obviously, to life in the United States, but more so to make you aware of the resources available through the School of Engineering and Applied Sciences at UB. So this course will be taught by a CEAS faculty member. It will be a course you're completing alongside other new transfer students. So you'll hopefully make a network of support in terms of, colleagues and classmates. And 198 will introduce you not only to the UB community and the School of Engineering and Applied Sciences community, but also the resources that we have here for you. And I know some of my colleagues, Jenna and Eric, will speak to that a little bit later. Luke?
Thank you, Amanda. So I want to talk a little bit about the curricular side of things. And there are a lot of different opportunities in the School of Engineering and Applied Sciences. So first off, we have the 5 wonderful degree pairing programs with UBITS, which offer a lot of interesting opportunities from a curricular standpoint as you are receiving a degree from both institutions, as was said earlier. Here at UB and within the School of Engineering and Applied Sciences, we also have the opportunity for you to engage with minors. And we have a number of them that are available and additional ones that are currently under development and will likely be available once you arrive here at UB. So our most popular one is the computer science minor, and that's available to everyone who is not taking the computer science degree or the computer engineering degree. We also have cybersecurity. So if you're interested in specializing that computer science degree or that computer engineering degree on the cybersecurity side, that's also a very popular one. We have electrical engineering, human factors, manufacturing, operations research, quality engineering, robotics. So what this allows you to do is to not only get your degree, but then specialize with additional courses to really kind of get the education that you really want. Another very interesting opportunity that everyone will have within the School of Engineering and Applied Sciences is auto admission into our master's program. So if you have a GPA of 3.0 or higher on a 4.0 GPA scale, you get auto admission to any CEAS MS degree. So this allows for some very interesting pairings between the undergraduate degree and the graduate degree. And again, the goal here is to allow students to specialize their education to really meet their kind of career goals and aspirations. So there's a lot of different opportunities. And lastly, I want to talk a little bit about undergraduate research. Because we are an R1 research university, this allows undergraduate students to participate in cutting edge research. We work with undergraduates all the time. So our labs usually consist of PhD students and supported by MS students, but we also provide opportunities for undergraduates to get involved. In my own personal lab, I work with undergraduates every single year. And one of my undergraduate students not only completed the undergrad degree, but recently completed his PhD degree here at UB as well. So there's pathways both to careers in industry, but also careers in research, if that interests you. And I would encourage everyone to kind of explore that opportunity because it's really unique. Lastly, I want to talk a little bit about our hands-on learning experience. So outside of the classroom, you also have access to all of our tinkering spaces. We call that the Dream Lab, and that gives you opportunities to play with 3D printers, laser cutters, CNC machines, robotic arms, all sorts of things to either augment your projects and labs that you have in your classes, or just to build your own projects. Many of our students, whether it's their capstone experience or projects that they take within their courses, really enjoy those projects. And then so they work on them even after they're due because they like them, and they expand them and build them out into something even more robust than what can be accomplished in a single semester, or in case of the capstone throughout the entirety of the year. And this really offers lots of great opportunities for students to build out that resume, because not only do you complete the classroom portion of the project, but then you expand it into something that's completely your own. We also have lots of internship and co-op opportunities if you're interested in potentially working over the summer and potentially also during the semester. And depending on kind of how you want to structure your degree program, you can really kind of lean into that co-op opportunity. But the way co-ops work, because you're working part-time and completing the degree part-time, that means that your time to degree is extended simply because you can't kind of complete both within that 4-year span. So it's really a personal choice whether that's something that interests you. Now, all of our degree programs have a senior design component. And you'll be working extensively on large projects. Those are usually group projects. It depends. It varies, I guess, by degree program and what you're interested in. For instance, the computer science degree program has multiple choices for their capstones. Others have kind of pre-prescribed capstone courses that the degree requires you to take. Most of those are 2 semesters. And you have, again, the goal here is to build a large real world project so that every student who graduates from UB has a large project on their resume. So there are lots of different opportunities, and we'll be happy to talk more as we interact with you throughout the whole kind of admissions process, and then as you start off at BITS and then transition over to UB. So now I'd like to hand it off to my colleague Jenna to talk a little bit about UB admissions and how that transfer process looks like.
Yes, hello again, everybody. So I'll talk a little bit about UB admissions and then introduce you a little bit more to UB and the campus. So start off with, we can talk about the admission process. So our office, when it comes time to transfer from BITS to UB, we will use your year 1 and your year 2 transcripts for provisional admission. So we look at any classes that you took in those first 2 years. Usually we do that in the January before you would arrive. So that way we can get a quick turnaround on an admission decision for you. And then once you are admitted, at that point, we would be able to work with you to get your I-20 in the spring before you come to UB. So that gives you time to have your I-20 in hand and then apply for your US visa. After the spring grades are finalized, so about this time in a year, we will make sure to finalize your admission and use those GPAs for a lot of different placements, including scholarships, which I'll talk about in a second. So with scholarships, you are eligible for an exciting scholarship that would be awarded that you could use during years 3 and year 4 at UB. Your eligibility would be based on your class rank. So again, using those GPAs at the end of the spring semester before you come to UB, the top 25% of students in your cohort would be getting $15,000 per year. So that's per an academic year, which is a fall and a spring semester. And then everyone else in the cohort would be eligible for a $12,000 scholarships. So that is a really exciting exciting opportunity. And at that point, we would make sure to communicate that out to students. To maintain that scholarship, once you are at UB, you have to remain in good academic standing. That translates to a UB GPA of 3.0 on a 4.0 scale. And as my colleague mentioned earlier, if you maintain that 3.0 GPA while you're at UB, that can lead to other exciting potential opportunities for you if you wanted to stay at UB and continue studying. So I saw some questions in the chat about cost of attendance. These are the numbers that we're using currently. Obviously, those numbers would change each year. So estimated tuition and fees, that is any sort of fee for student life, for access to things on campus, and then an estimated living expense. These are estimated numbers. Obviously, depending on your lifestyle, you may spend less, you may spend more, but this is the standard estimate that we use and that students would be asked to show when they get their UBI-20. On this page, if you wanted to scan the QR code, that would take you to, again, the current totals. It's important to note that in order for us to issue you your I-20 for you to study in Buffalo in F1 status, part of the regulation for an F1 visa is that students have to demonstrate their ability to cover these estimated costs during the first year of study. So our office would work with you so that you would give us financial documents so that you would prove you can cover these costs for us to issue the I-20, and then for you to then use those same documents when you apply for your US visa. Again, estimated costs here, so it may change depending on where you decide to live or the meal plan you choose, but this is the same total that we use for everyone as an equalizer. So speaking about your UBI-20, after you get admission, then that next step is to request your I-20. When you get to that step, you would be using your UB application portal and you would see a checklist. The items that you need in general are a copy of your passport biographical page. Your passport would need to be valid. You would need to submit a UB financial form. You can scan the QR code here to see what the current version of the form looks like. But basically, this financial form is a list of documents that we do or don't accept. For example, bank statements or loan documents, or if you have a specific type of funding, it needs to be on letterhead. All of those details are on the financial form so that you can prepare for what documents you would like to show for your I-20. And then in addition to that, of course, the documents themselves to prove your available funding. When it comes to the financial estimates, the estimates are updated on an annual basis. So again, what you're looking at are this year's estimates. There would likely be some changes between now and when you would need to send documents to us, but I think the current version gives a good idea. Once all of these documents are submitted, your application would enter a review process. If everything is satisfied, we would issue your I-20, and then you would get an email saying your I-20 was available for download on your portal. So one thing I will say is once you get to the UB side of things, always make sure you're checking your email. That is how all of us at UB will communicate to you. And in general, the sooner you get things to us, the sooner we can issue you your I-20. So now a little bit just to introduce you a little bit more about UB. As my colleague said, UB is part of the State University of New York SUNY system. So we have a very large comprehensive system that we are a part of. But UB is actually known as SUNY's flagship. So UB is the #1 public university in New York. It is part of the top 40 public universities nationwide, and we are a proud member of the AAU. So we have been ranked 36 for all public universities in the US by US News and World Report. And again, we're part of the Association of American Universities. Now, the AAU membership is highly prestigious because it is extended by invitation only, and it has to be based on the university's excellence in research, education, and overall contribution to the academic community. So members like UB are typically leaders in both research output and funding, and they are often at the forefront of scientific and technological innovation. So not only are we a member, member, but we are the first SUNY school invited to this membership. So UB is well known and we have a really great reputation. In other ways, we are reputable for being a top choice from around the globe. UB is number 20 in all of the United States for hosting international students. So we are a top choice for students from all over the world. As it was mentioned, at UB, there are many schools and colleges. We have over 30,000 students, and we are one of the most diverse student bodies in the SUNY system. So about 20% of our entire student body are international students from, at this point, about 99 countries. So part of coming to UB is that ability to get that, intercultural global experience, even on a campus in Buffalo. Now, our campus also, in addition to having 3 campuses, we are continually working to improve and to expand what we offer to students. So in addition to our standings, we make major investments on our infrastructure. So that top left image you see is a mock-up for an engineering building that is coming soon. So we have broken ground on campus for the Argusa Hall. So this new engineering building will be a hub of student-centric activities and clubs. On the top right, what you are looking at is our student union that was recently renovated last year. So it's a great place for students to gather. There are campus food options right nearby. It's near campus clubs. It is always a very busy space on campus. The bottom left is our Ellicott Landing. We opened that recently as well. That's a space for community engagement. So it has study areas, social staircase, flexible lounges, and courtyard patio spaces. It's another highly trafficked space on campus. And then the bottom right is our new 12,000 square foot multi-level sports performance center, which is connected to the Murchie Family Fieldhouse that's used by some of our sports teams. So in addition to spaces within campus living spaces, this is another place for students to gather, to work out, to get some activities in. Now, that's a lot about what's happening on campus, but you're probably also curious about Buffalo as well. So Buffalo, New York is part of what is called the Western New York region. We offer some unbeatable combination of opportunity, affordability, and quality of life for UB students. Buffalo is the second largest city in New York State. It has a small town feel and it's got a great friendliness and local pride. Now, Buffalo, you can see there, that is where the red star is on the map. We have been cited as within the top 5 best cities for college students and the #1 nicest place in America. Buffalo is not only a great place to live, it's also very affordable. Buffalo has a 4%, it's below 4% of the US average for cost of living, and it's 27% less expensive than the other major city in the US, New York City. So it's got a great economy, it's family friendly, and it has a range of public transportation options. And UB also provides additional free or discounted passes to students for local buses and metros. So with Buffalo, you can get to almost anywhere in about 30 minutes and still be in the Western New York area. I also want to talk a little bit more about the campuses. That's life in Buffalo, but Buffalo, UB feels big, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. That size can bring a lot of opportunities that you may not find anywhere else. So on campus, UB has amazing spaces to stay active and have fun. On the next slide, you'll see some quick stats. We have 16 division athletic programs. We have over 500 student clubs, lots of recreational spaces for sporting and fitness centers. We have a fully equipped esports arena, several art galleries, and bike share hubs as well. So whether you're staying on any of our 3 campuses, you're exploring the local Buffalo and Western New York community, there is plenty to do and see. Now, I saw there were some questions about campus living, so I wanted to talk a little bit about what options and what life is like on campus as well. So it really can be your home away from home. So UB residence halls and apartments have a living community that you can be close to classes. You'll be able to make most of your time here. It's comfortable, it's safe, and it's engaging. On the next slide, you'll see a couple of photos, just examples visuals of one of our larger student housing complexes on our North Campus. You can see it's near some of the woods and lakes and not far from the academic buildings themselves. There are bus services that link, you to your housing and your classes and all over campus itself. So with life on campus, when you are staying on campus, it is easy access to social activities. There are programs within your housing and on campus with events itself. There are also living learning communities and academic support centers on site, in addition to having tutoring in your residence halls. So we know that life is busy for our students. And so if you are trying to be active, but also, of course, studying and making sure you're being academically successful, in addition to the wonderful work that you heard about with the engineering services, you will also have opportunities for academic support in your place of living. So what is included for on-campus living? You can scan this QR code here to learn more, but all campus living has free laundry, internet, and academic success centers. The residence hall complexes also have fitness centers exclusively for students who live on campus. Usually that includes cardio and weight lifts and personal training, as well as group fitness classes. Students would also have regular check-ins with their resident life advisor, and there's 24/7 support. So lots of options on campus to stay busy and stay healthy and balance that study and healthy lifestyle. I'll just close up by saying that if you want to learn more about UB and hear from current students, you can follow us on social media. We are available on all of the platforms you see here on this slide. If you look for #UBuffalo, you should be able to find us and see events that are happening on campus year round. And that's mine. I'll turn it over, I think, to Eric.
Thank you very much, Jenna. Hello again, everybody. My name is Eric City. Again, I work in the International Student Services office. So I'll give you a quick little overview of what our office does. I know there's a lot of questions that are coming in the chat that we want to get some answers to. I'll touch on some of those real quick. But just given the nature of kind of where we are in this potential 2+2 program right now, we're not going to do a deep dive into some of those questions, but we'll try to get some surface level answers. So again, my office, International Student Services, I like to think there's two big parts of our office. There's the immigration and compliance side, and then there's the fun side of what we do. So starting with the immigration and compliance, the biggest thing we do and try to do is help you, the student, understand your status. You are going to be here in the US on an F1 visa. It is your responsibility to, adhere to that, maintain that. So we want you to understand that. But we're also here to help you maintain that status as well. That is the purpose of our office. So we are all going to collectively work together to make sure that you do what you need to, we do what we need to ensure success immigration-wise so that you can succeed academically. Along with maintaining that status, there's certain enrollment requirements that we're going to help kind of ensure that you're meeting. There's proper documentation that we need to ensure that everybody is doing and maintaining to ensure that success both during your time and in the future, depending on what you choose. And then I've seen several questions about it in the chat, but another big thing that our office does is we help students with various work authorizations. So I know somebody is already aware of it. There's CPT, which is generally used for work experiences while you are enrolled in classes here. We can talk a lot more about that. Again, I'm not going to go too far into it, but basically, if you are here and you come to UB for those 2 years, you will be eligible for CPT, typically what we call internships in that first summer after you arrive. So you'll arrive, you'll do a fall, a spring. In that summer, you would be eligible to start taking advantage of CPT. And there's a lot of other information that goes along with it, but just know that that is when it would become available to you. There's also another work authorization called OPT, or Optional Practical Training. Most international students on an F1 visa will utilize OPT after graduation. So as it is right now, all students who earn a degree get 1 year of OPT after graduation. Any student who is in a STEM eligible degree, which would be everybody who is taking part of this 2+2 program, you would get an additional 2 years after that first year. So it's possible that you can remain in the US for 3 years after your graduation and have work authorization. That work authorization is directly part of your F1 status. So the employer does not have to sponsor you. There's no separate category that you have to get or separate visa that you have to get, excuse me. And I know somebody had a question about, they've heard, talk of that going away. As of right now, there is no plans for that to go away. It is staying around. There has been talk, and there's been talk for quite a while, where certain entities want it to go away, but it doesn't seem like that is sticking. So our hope, our dream is that it will continue to stay around. But again, as of right now, there's no plans for that to go away. And again, immigration and compliance is much more involved than what I've talked about here, but I think those are the high level things that we need to understand right now. And I will note my office, we generally start to come into play after international admissions issues that I-20 as you start working on that visa. We don't necessarily hold your hand through the process of getting the visa. We have information on our website, but we're there as a resource. I believe the UBITS side does have resources to help students navigate that actual visa process as well. Again, that other half of our office, that fun side, there's a lot of things we do to try to help all international students get familiar with UB, the Western New York area, and beyond. So we offer various trips throughout the academic year to various Western New York attractions. We help run something called International Education Week, which is a week dedicated to the idea or the concept of international education. That involves international students coming to UB, our education abroad programs, and kind of everything between there. We do Global Connections Cafe, which is various gatherings throughout, the semester where students collectively come together. We have food, drinks, and people just talk, mingle, relax a little bit. And we've recently started what we call the Summer Connection Series. So we understand that a lot of students end up staying in Buffalo during the summer instead of traveling back home. So we've started offering some various programs to tend to those students. And then we offer a lot more. So if we jump to the next slide, these are just some of the trips that we have planned and organized for students. We do try to switch them up every year, but we do have some that are pretty universal. So Niagara Falls, just about every year we are taking several busloads of students up to Niagara Falls. It is only about a 30-minute drive, but we know a bus trip up there can be very helpful. We've also taken students whitewater rafting. There's a local state park that we go to in the fall, and that's that top right picture. The trees start to change colors. You'll see red, orange, yellow, and we try to plan that trip right around peak fall season or peak tree season as we call it. The bottom left one is kind of a step back in time. That is the Genesee Country Village and Museum. We've been there a few times. It's a great way to see what life was ages ago in the US. We've also taken students to a Buffalo Sabres, which is our ice hockey team, and they've had an opportunity to go on the ice. And then in typical Buffalo winter fashion, we also like to take students downhill skiing because we know that's an opportunity that not many students get to take advantage of. And then if we jump to the next slide, this is not necessarily just about my office. This is more about what the university has to offer in terms of assistance for you. So there's offices that deal with accessibility resources if for any reason you need special help. We have a career design center on campus. They are designed specifically to help students with a lot of things around that employment idea and concept. So resume, cover letter, interview skills. If you need help finding, employment, they can do that to a certain extent. I know there's been a lot of conversations or questions in the chat about this concept of placement. Here in the US, there's not a lot of programs or universities that intentionally place students. There are some programs. UB doesn't do that too much. A lot of it is based on your networking, but there are resources available to help you build those networks. Resources that are directly connected to employers in the Western New York, Buffalo area, and all of the US. The Career Design Center has a staff that is solely dedicated to building those relationships. They meet with, academic departments, understand what they teach, understand what they offer, what resources are available to students, and that's how they sell UB students essentially to these employers. They say, this is what they're learning, this is what they have at their fingertips, this is why you should choose UB students. So there are resources out there doing that, but we're not going to directly place you with an employer in most cases. If you need assistance with writing, whether that's for papers or anything that you're working on, there's a Center for Excellence in Writing. There's counseling services. So if you're having any, mental concerns, or you just need to talk or open up to somebody, there's professional services to enhance your own development. There's health promotion, which has, management in stress, financial management, other topics around that. There's a whole office dedicated to that. As Jenna mentioned, in some of the campus dormitories, as we call them, or the residential life facilities, there's tutoring and academic support. There's also those entities scattered throughout campus. And again, my office, International Student Services, is a support service as well. Again, our primary focus is that compliance, that, maintaining your status aspect, but we can and we do a lot more than that. All of our advisors, all of our staff are incredibly friendly. We want you to succeed. That is the goal of ISS. That's the goal of admissions. That's the goals of the engineering department and the university as a whole. That's why these support services are available. But again, we want you to succeed at the end of the day. That is what is most important. That's all I have. I did jot down some questions that I saw coming in that I know I can touch on real quick. I've seen a lot of questions about visa concerns, and again, what if we don't, or what are the challenges? Again, we're pretty far out from that. We don't know what the future holds. That is always, the unknown. Things could stay the way they are. Things could get a lot easier. Things could get more difficult. We will take that challenge head on as we get closer to you arriving. And this is something Jenna touched on in terms of that timeline. Our goal is, with your assistance, to get that I-20 to you as early as possible. So the earlier that you submit everything, once those channels open up, the earlier we can get you that I-20, the earlier you can apply for a visa. Worst case scenario, if it gets denied, best case, you can try to get a second opportunity to reapply before that fall semester in Buffalo. That's our goal. We can do so much. We need the help of you all as you move throughout this timeline, this program, to help us get that. But that's I know it's a big concern right now. It's something my office, it's something admissions is always looking at, and we're going to be that resource for you as we get closer to that time frame.
And Eric, I would just add real quick to your comments about visas, that we were gratified that our first intake, the students coming to Buffalo this fall, overall, the rate of approval was higher than most programs, and certainly for individual students applying for F1 visas to the United States. So that's encouraging. There's no guarantee, of course, but so far, working together, UBITS and UB, we've really supported that process and we've seen good results. So I just wanted to mention that. Thank you.
Yeah.
You had other questions you wanted to address?
Yeah, there was just one I think I didn't touch on. I saw it come up very early, and I don't know if it got responded to, but I know somebody was specifically asking about vegetarian food on campus. As Jenna mentioned in one of her slides, our international population is about 20% of our campus. The highest percentage of international students are those from India. So we know that vegetarian, vegan, all of those options are highly needed on campus. And we have a wide array of food options, including vegetarian options, both on campus and the surrounding areas. So really any type of food, necessity you need, whether it's an allergy or anything like that, the university is very accommodating and can meet pretty much, I would assume, all requests, but just let us know, reach out, and we can see what you need. I don't know if anybody else saw any questions that came through that they
Yeah,
want to
I'll
touch on
invite
real
my
quick.
colleagues, if there are specific questions you wanted to be sure to address, please feel free.
I know there was a couple questions about the I-20s, and I just want to say that I think the nice part about this 2+2 collaboration is that we tried to really support the students. For instance, the BIT side and the UBITS side, we meet every week, absolutely every week of the year, to discuss how to support students and any kind of issues that arise. So we're very conscious that every student's path might be a little bit different, and we try to really accommodate all the students and their needs as quickly as possible. For instance, we typically issue the I-20s in the October-November timeframe to provide students the maximum amount of time to secure those visa appointments, especially once it became the appointment time to get an appointment kind of grew. So we changed our processes to help accommodate the students. So I think we're very student focused, very student centric. So we're aware of all the challenges that are ongoing, and we respond appropriately.
I know one of the questions that's come up multiple times is about the scholarships, and we did mention this several times, but I don't know if Jenna, if you want to revert to that, not the slide, but just to clarify, because
Yep.
one of the questions is about the amount of the scholarship. Is it for a year or a semester or what have you? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. I was actually just coming off mute to address that. Thank you, making sure we caught that one. So yes, the scholarships amount were per academic year. So if, for example, you are part of the, top percentage of the cohort, that would be $15,000 for year 3 and then $15,000 for year 4. So as long as you are maintaining that minimum GPA, you could have that scholarship essentially twice. So you're looking at about $30,000 in scholarship. UB also does have a scholarship portal. So once you are here, you could look to see if there are any other opportunities not related to admission, but related to your studies or your, background. So there are also potentials for additional types of funding once you are a UB student. But the scholarship that you would get through admission would be each academic year. So again, that's a fall and a spring semester. I do also know that there was a question about basically work after graduation on OPT. I know that Eric touched upon that, but there is some information that we can share. I'm going to put a link in the chat to it's basically a data set of recent international students at UB. You can pull this up to see where they are working on both CPT and OPT. Now, again, this is mostly reported through students, and so keep in mind that if you're looking to do specific types of work, we recommend doing your own research as well. But this is a really good tool to kind of get a sense of where UB students are working during, the CPT internships and after on OPT. You can filter based on CPT, OPT by degree level, by program. So that is, I think, a nice overview of the types of potentials that our UB students are seeing as well.
Thank you. Other questions? Maybe Eric, one that I saw a mention of was, how does the health insurance work, and why are you students required to have it? And what about campus medical facilities?
Yeah, I can touch on that a little bit. So international students are required to have the insurance, and that is just strictly a safety reason. You can have your own insurance, but it has to meet all of the requirements that the university has set. To my knowledge, I would assume that most students just end up electing going with the university insurance. Mostly for ease purposes, it's nice to have all that. The university is able to provide direct assistance. If you have any concerns or questions about what medical facilities you can do, if for some reason you need to see something that the university can't assist with. We do have a health center on campus. They cannot help with every, ailment that you find yourself in, but they can help with a lot of different things. But again, if you're using the university insurance, it's going to be a lot easier for them to point you in the right direction. Whereas if you have your own insurance, they may not be able to assist you as well. So it's kind of that same concept to like why living on campus can be beneficial, because the university can assist you directly with what's going on if you're having issues or concerns. The ease of access and just the proximity of everything is beneficial. But yeah, health insurance, medical costs in the US are pretty high or very high in some cases. And if you don't have insurance, you don't want to have to go up against that. So having insurance, incredibly important. And I think that's why it's just to help protect everybody.
Are there other questions that my colleagues have seen that we haven't addressed that need to be addressed?
Yeah. So thank you, Dr. John and team. So there are a few more questions, I think. So I think one of the question was related to cutoff. So if you see last year cutoff, it was 180 for this particular cohort. But again, it depends on the discipline to discipline. So like computer science cutoff was higher as compared to mechanical engineering. So all students are encouraged to apply, because the cutoff of this year, it is not known to us. It depends upon how many students are going to apply, and as far as seat is concerned. So every program, so we are offering 5 programs. So about 125 seats are going to be there, at around 25 seats in each program. So that is the things, but this number is slightly variable depending upon the preferences and good applications. Then the numbers in a program may be slightly distributed. So that is the thing, but maximum number is 125 as far as intake is concerned. And as far as the scholarship first 2 years is concerned, as I mentioned that all scholarship facilities is available to all the students admitted at a particular campus. So Pilani, Goa and Hyderabad campus. So you have to compete within the campus, and based on that you can get the scholarship as far as first 2 years is concerned. It is also answered that whatever performance you are making in first 2 years at BITS, based on that the scholarship is going to be given to you at UB. So that is what explained earlier. Placement BITS Pilani, because you are the student of BITS Pilani also, so placement, whatever our regular students are going to get placement specialty, the same placement you are also going to get. So a career fair and other things you are going to attend in US, but you can also participate in placement at BITS Pilani, respective campuses. If you are in Hyderabad campus, then Hyderabad or Goa or Pilani. Of course, practice school one, somebody asked about internship and practice school kind of thing. So because this particular program is designed in a slightly different way, so practice school is not the compulsory course for the practice school 1 and practice school 2 is not the compulsory in this particular thing, but in place of that we have provided 2 capstone projects. Those capstone projects you are going to do in your 4th year when you are at University at Buffalo. So that is a special feature of this particular program. And of course, some of the students were asking about transfer or exit option, etc. So as it is, you have asked the cutoff and all those things. So if suppose by any compelling reason you are going to you are not allowed to go to University at Buffalo because of visa or some health issues and all those things. So there will be exit options, as I mentioned earlier also, that we will see your BITS at score. CGPA performance at BITS it not initially considered first, because it is the admission which is very important. So what is your BITS at score, that we will take into consideration first, and based on that we will transfer you to a discipline which is you can get at BITS. So that is the thing. And whereas as I mentioned earlier, that if you are want to do the same discipline and your score is falling in that, it is fine, you can continue at BITS. But if suppose your score is lower than whatever that discipline is, then whatever discipline you should actually get in our regular merit list, that program will be assigned to you, or you can move to BITS Dubai campus in the same program, or you can take credit of the years which you have completed at BITS and take admission in other universities. So this is very clearly mentioned in our FAQ also, and that is the thing. So I think apart from that, we have covered most of the things. Yeah. Apart placement already we have answered. So somebody has asked how it is different from BITS regular program of BITS or UB. So I think this is already answered. So best of both universities you are going to get in this. So all special features of BITS Pilani also you are getting, you are able to attend the placement. You are going to get different category wise courses which are broad-based foundation, modular, flexible structure of BITS Pilani, that you are going to get. At the same time, whatever best already our colleagues from UB have already explained, so that exposure you are going to get. So by just spending 4 years completely at UB, you are spending only 2 years at UB and 2 years at BITS, and based on that you are getting the best of both. So that is the thing. So that is the main difference between our regular program and this. And so there is one question: when we take English, when we should take English proficiency. So I think it is advisable that you should plan by 31st July of this year. But if any date is extended, I think our UB team is going to communicate to you, and we will be in touch. Yeah, so I think, yeah, these are the things. So another very important question was asked: will the students be mixed or separated? So once you are going to be admitted at BITS, your all classes are going to be handled in the same sections which we start by for our regular students. So we are not going to distinguish you whether you are UB students or you are our regular students. So classes, tutorial, performance, everything is going to be in mixed kind of things, and the same thing is going to happen at University at Buffalo. Apart from that, I think we have also Professor Radhika, who is the Dean Academic Undergraduate Studies from Goa campus. So if she can add, if you would like to add anything, I think, yeah.
I think almost everything has been covered. Thank you for so much. Lots of students have doubts regarding the cutoff and whether they can continue in India if they don't get the visa. I think Professor AP Singh has answered all those questions. Specific cutoffs for each discipline is not something that we have right now, like Professor AP Singh mentioned. It depends on the relative performance of other students. And there was also a question which said, if you're enrolled in a regular 4-year program, do you have a chance to enroll for the 2+2? That's not how it works. When you seek application, you give your preferences, and the 2+2 is among one of those preferences. So you decide at the time of admission whether you want to, opt for the regular 4-year program or for the 2+2. I think
there is one more question. If I am a USA citizen, can I enroll in 2+2 program? Can I do at Hyderabad campus? So it depends whether the program which you would like to take, it is being offered under this particular collaboration at Hyderabad campus or not. So say, for example, if you see, I think mechanical engineering is offered at Hyderabad campus. So if you are interested in mechanical engineering, then you should choose Hyderabad campus. Otherwise, you should choose Pilani or Goa campus, depending upon your interest. So it is very good that you are already US citizen, so you need not to worry about your visa, etc. And you can definitely apply so depending upon your BITSAT score.
Yeah, I would add, Dean Singh, that it obviously avoids the whole challenge around the F1 visa if you're a U.S. citizen. I don't know if there are any particular immigration issues with respect to a U.S. citizen studying in India, but certainly it makes it easier coming to the U.S. as a U.S. citizen.
And there is one more question. Somebody who has not applied for this program can apply during edit window. Yes. So when we are going to open edit window on 7th and 8th or 8th and 9th, it is going to be announced to you. So that time you will be given the flexibility to edit this, and at that time you can give the preference of it, BITS UB preferences, etc. Recordings definitely is going to be available on our website. Last year recordings, if you see, it is already available at BITS admission website. So now this recording of today's, that is also going to be available. And in fact, also I will advise you that you should go through the FAQs. So already based on your questions of last year and this year, we have made FAQ, which is again available. So majority of the questions are already with answers are given there. But still, if you have any queries or things, you can always contact our admission office.
I see there's a question about which English tests can be used for this purpose. Jenna, I know there's a range of different tests that are accepted by UB. Do you want to speak to that?
Sure. Yes. So for UB admission for English, there are, like you said, a range of tests, whether it is the Duolingo or the IELTS. We actually have a list. I'm going to pull it up and put it in the chat. That's probably easier for everyone to reference. But I know my BITS partners, I think, had a response as well.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. I'm sorry to interrupt.
So there is one more question. Someone who applied for regular 4-year course at BITS and also 2+2, if he is eligible for both, I think, yeah. So yeah, you are eligible for both, and first 2 iteration you will be given offer for both, and later a date will be given to you that by this time you have to very clearly tell that you are interested in this particular route or another route, because you cannot simply continue indefinitely. So because we have to make the offer to other candidate, and we should not waste a particular seat, meritorious student seat. So it is very much advisable to you that when we give that deadline, that time you withdraw from one particular program and continue in other program.
The Prashant, so we can fill the form and chosen this as options, paid some registration fee. What is it?
Can anybody tell, is there any fee for each iteration? No, there is no fee for any iteration. But generally there is a option of program of freeze a campus or freeze a particular program. That time I think you need to pay some rupees 2 or rupees 3 kind of things, which is to just say that you are only doing the things to freeze the options. Otherwise tomorrow somebody may say that this has not been done by us. So otherwise there is no fee for any other iterations.
Aditya, you mentioned about the visa rejection. I think that is something which is one cannot say precisely. It depends on how well you prepare your application. So I think that is something which is we cannot tell that this many percentage would be selected and not. We assume that everything will be in order and most of the people will get the visa.
So another thing is how much amount would be deducted in the first iteration. So there is no, so we will be giving you one withdrawal window. Before that, if you are going to withdraw, there will be no deduction. So of course, up to iterations 2 and iteration 3, there will not be any deduction. But after that, deduction is going to be there, because you please understand that no seat should get wasted. So that is very important for all of us.
There's a question about the UB process and the first phase here this summer. Jenna, do you want to speak to that? I know there's some information the students will be providing once they're admitted to BITS.
Yeah, so as far as applying for UB, that is something that BITS and UB work together on. So we would certainly send you instructions, but depending on where we are in the program, in some cases BITS just sends us information directly. So for example, when it comes time for transcripts, we get those directly so we can verify and finalize admission. Some things you will be uploading yourself on the application portal, but that once you have initiated the application, that's where a lot of the individual work between you and our office comes into play. But the two universities do coordinate on a lot of this as well. So certainly we are all here for you during that admissions process. And if you have questions, you are always welcome to reach out to our office, to folks at UB. We are really all excited to see you, and so we're happy to support you, through the cycle of admission. But the specifics kind of depend on where you are in the admission cycle and what documents we're talking about submitting. But certainly you would get information on all of that.
Thank you.
Other question is, do we have to do anything else other than filing the form of 2+2? So currently no. So today we are going to share you one timeline for all the candidates, that how this whole process in the form of different iteration is going to be there and what is the deadline for that. So that is the only thing. So currently only you have to apply and then you should wait. So based on our first merit list, and that time you will be knowing whether you are getting a confirm offer or you are on the wait list. And depending upon that, you can depending upon the offer letter of confirmed, as it is mentioned in confirmed letter or it is in wait list offer letter, you have to follow the things. I think we have covered most of the.
Okay. So, Professor John, I think we have covered most of the questions. I think plenty of questions have been answered by all the WITS and UB team. I think thank you so much, all of you, for being the part of this whole interaction at the webinar. And on behalf of, I think, WITS Pilani and UB, I thank all the participants, parents who have participated in this session. Many of the questions are going to be part of the FAQ. They are available. So I just have the first, I want to congratulate those students who have cleared the BITSAT as a reasonable score, I must say that, and they are looking forward to be part of the huge family of BITS and also the BITS UB. And second thing is that please try to read all the instructions very, very carefully. We find that many of the questions are asked which are already answered in FAQs, or it has been during the presentation, it was answered, and also in the chat by both the teams here. So I think please try to be a little mindful about what questions you are asking and you got the answer. But I'm sure, I think we are looking forward to have your presence for our BITS UB program, and wishing you all the best, and just stay connected. And if you have any specific question which is not addressed at all in terms of FAQ or in our information brochures which are available on our website, feel free to reach out to our admission office and they would be very happy to answer the question. So I think, so thank you so much. Professor John, your closing remarks before we.
I thank you very much, Professor Ryan, and thank you for the opportunity. My colleagues and I are delighted to have the chance to speak to prospective students and families about our program, and to highlight some of the attractions and opportunities. And I'm grateful for my colleagues' excellent presentations and all the good questions that have come forward. So we look forward to continuing to work with BITS Pilani on this great program and to welcoming a new group of students into the program very soon. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you, Lou.
so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
And thank you, Radhika, for joining. I think it's wonderful. Just I think as far as the program webinar is concerned, we're going to give them on the link or something.
Yes. So
we will share with you the details about the link. Yeah. So where this webinar details will be available to all the students who could not attend or who really wants to recap again. I think we'll provide the link to you. Okay. Thank you so much once again. Have a great day ahead to our UB family, and have a great time. Thank you.
Nice to see you. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.